St. George Island is a rare and beautiful barrier island 5 miles off the shores of Franklin County on Florida's scenic panhandle. This 25-mile-long island is a world-class vacation destination and a natural jewel for eco-minded visitors. The reputation of the island for its natural beauty, bordering on the sparkling Gulf of Mexico, is richly deserved. But visitors and locals alike know that St. George Island is more than a beautiful beach.
St. George Island is a great place to bicycle. It has 6 miles of paved path right down the middle of the island. It's got roads that go winding through the back by the bay and out by the Gulf. It's a marvelous place to really see this place in its true beauty, to get a sense of what's really here. What's nice about riding here is you can do it however you want to do it. You can do a cruise on a cruiser bike you can rent here. You can do a mountain bike ride on the dirt and sand roads and have a lot of fun. Go back up in the forest and ride on the dirt bikes. Or you can ride a road bike and stay on the harder surfaces and go all over the county. It's a great place for all kinds of riding. You don't have to bring your own bike in order to enjoy riding here. There's several places that rent, we call them cruiser bikes, big tires so they're easy on you and easy to ride in the sand. It's a real good way to take the whole family out for a nice morning or afternoon, outside, looking at the island, get to know what's here, and also it's a good way to meet other people who like to ride bikes. This is a great place for a family to ride because you can ride with your children in a safe environment. We really want you to come down to St. George Island and join us in a bike ride. You'll love it. Thanks for coming.
St. George Island is one of the best beaches on the state of Florida that I know of that allow dogs. And the only reason they still allow dogs here is people are responsible for them. They keep them on a leash. We have doggy bags at all the crossovers to the beach. Pearl enjoys running in the water, jumping in the waves. I've been taking Pearl to the St. George Island beach for about 4 years now, and we have always enjoyed it. When I have Pearl out on the beach, it does make that much more fun for me and for a lot of people that are around me. I've had people come up with their kids, and their kids will have a blast playing with the dog all day long. Not only is the beach pet friendly, but most of the homes here are pet friendly accessible. And not only that, most of the restaurants and stuff, you could take your dog into the outside parts of them, into the patios, and most restaurants will bring water to the dog. Bring it some fresh water. When you bring your dog on the beach, be sure to bring it some bottles of fresh water so it has something to drink, because it'll drink that salt water and that's no good for them. As long as people are responsible pet owners, we'll be able to keep it pet friendly here at St. George Island.
The Cape St. George Light, which is now here in St. George Lighthouse Park, is the first thing that our visitors see when they come across the bridge onto St. George Island. It actually welcomes them to our beautiful island paradise. The Cape St. George Light was built originally in 1833 on the very west end of this island. It's had a long and rough history. It's been built 4 times, the most recent time in 2008 right here in Lighthouse Park. Lighthouse Park is right here at the center of the island. It has, of course, the lighthouse. It has the visitor center where guests can come and get information about all the amenities that the island has to offer. We also have the Lighthouse Keeper's House Museum. There is a playground, a picnic area, picnic pavilions, and barbecue area, and of course a boardwalk to our beautiful beach. The first year that the lighthouse was open, we had 28,000 visitors who actually came and climbed the lighthouse. People are welcome to join the St. George Lighthouse Association as members. The St. George Lighthouse Association has a website which is www.stgeorgelight.org. That's stgeorgelight.org. That has information about the lighthouse, about the history of the lighthouse, about recent news events, a photo gallery of shots of events at the lighthouse, a calendar of upcoming things, and information about the merchandise that we sell, and ability to become members. Come visit the St. George Light.
Well, St. George Island, you have every kind of fishing thing from onshore, around the shore, in the bay, offshore. Every kind of fishing just about you can imagine. I love to take kids. I've taken kids from 6 years old all the way up to, I took a 94-year-old man last year. Well, you've got the beach. You've got 25 miles or so of beach where you can throw at any place. Fish are swimming up and down there constantly. You've got up here off the island, the old Dole Bridge. You've got both sides of there, all the way from shallow almost, all the way to the intercoastal. Well, they have redfish, probably our #1 thing, all the way from small to really, really big ones. They're called bull reds. We've got Spanish mackerel, flounder, trout, some black drums. Well, I fished all over the United States, not really the world or anything, but as far as fish per foot probably or something like that, this place has definitely got the most of it. We don't have a lot of pressure is the thing. That's the main thing. If you enjoy fishing, you just can't do better than St. George Island.
St. George Island State Park has a little over 9 miles of beach. We're well known for our swimming, fishing off the beach. We have 2 restroom facilities with 6 pavilions that families can rent or gather on a first-come, first-served basis. There's 8 other pull-offs, and then the last 4.5 miles of the beach, we have a limited access to the east end of the park. Very popular for fishing.
This bay, Apalachicola Bay, is part of the Apalachicola National Estuarine Research Reserve, and it is a very productive estuary here in the state of Florida. We have 2 boat ramps here in the park. There is a nominal fee to come and launch your boat here in the state park. And you can also launch your kayaks and canoes from here, and very great access points. We have a few picnic areas here on the bay side of the park, including our group camping area. So just remember, when you come here to St. George Island State Park, you can enjoy our beach, and you can also come over here and enjoy the activities on the bay side as well.
St. George Island is great for kayaking because we have such nice water here. It's calm most of the time. Whether you're on the beach or you're on the bay, you can be surfing the kayaks, you can actually be fishing from the kayaks, you can watch dolphins from the kayaks. The water is just absolutely beautiful here for kayaking. Kayaking is a fantastic family sport. Matter of fact, a lot of the companies around here rent tandem kayaks, which are meant for 2 people. You have a number of places to launch the kayak. The state park is an excellent place to launch the kayak. There are places on the west end of the island, and anywhere on the beach you can launch the kayak that has public access.
St. George Island is a great place to paddleboard. You can really see the fish and wildlife. Again, because you're basically walking on the water, looking down, seeing the mullet, redfish, trout. I've even fished off of these before.
The bay side of St. George Island is a wonderful place for kayaking and exploring. You can pretty much go to any of the little gunk holes around here, the coves. There are lots of little grass islands, birds, lots of wildlife that you can see. It's a wonderful place for kayaking.
St. George Island is a fantastic place for birding along the eastern panhandle. Along the beaches, the wintering, you have a lot of wintering sandpipers like black-bellied plover, piping plover, which is an endangered species. Snowy plover is a year-round resident. Some of our regular nesting birds are bald eagle, which have nests in several locations along the island. Ospreys are full-time. They also nest and breed on the island, and they're here all the time. One of the spring migration here on St. George begins usually around the first part of April, extends through the first part of May, and I think people are usually more interested in that because the birds are in their more brilliant plumage that time of year. You'll get a wide variety of warblers. You can easily get 20 warblers on a good day at St. George Island State Park. On the causeway are the royal terns, Caspian terns, gold-billed terns. A nice colony of least terns nest out there. It's always a treat to come over here, and it's definitely one of the best places, if not the best place in Franklin County to bird.
I think St. George Island is one of the best venues that you could pick for photography. And I have 2 loves. My first love is landscape photography and then nature photography. But in landscape photography, you're concerned with light and with vistas, the views. And that's what St. George offers, is that you have just these marvelous vistas, you have marvelous sunrises and sunsets, but even more than that, especially in the surf, you also have the moon. And I do a lot of photography by the light of the moon because we have such great vistas here. Now, personally, I spend most of my time as a nature photographer, and I love to shoot birds. And I just don't think that you can find a better place than St. George Island to shoot birds, to photograph birds. And first of all, there's the beach. And we have just a long beach. It's easy to get the correct sun angle. The birds are pretty acclimated to humans. They're not tame, but they are acclimated to humans, so it's easier to get close to them. There are also many other kinds of animals for the nature photography on St. George Island, from butterflies in the fall in particular. You've got monarchs, you've got Gulf fritillaries, buckeyes, a lot of butterflies coming through here that are on the liatris or purple spikes. You've got a lot of cute animals like raccoons and turtles that are here. And overall, I just don't think you could find a much better place for a nature photographer, especially if they were on vacation. So when you're here, be sure you look at the wildlife, be respectful of the wildlife, and get some great pictures.
For more information, contact the St. George Island Visitor Center at 888-927-7744 or visit us online at cstgeorgeisland.com.